This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Good morning and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Wednesday, February 23. In Squiz Kids Today, Russia moves on Ukraine, masks off at school, China's coriander sundaes, and Josh Giddey's triple-double record. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
That big problem in the Eastern European country of Ukraine that we talked about last week? Remember, where the neighbouring and much larger country of Russia was gathering troops on the border they share? Well, it came to a head yesterday when, as widely expected, Russia sent tanks and troops into the eastern region of Ukraine. In a nutshell, Russian President Vladimir Putin believes that Ukraine belongs to Russia and he wants it back. The people of Ukraine are, for the most part, quite happy being their own country, and yesterday, the Ukrainian president called on other countries of the world to help them stand up to Russia. As Australia's Prime Minister Scott Morrison said Russia should withdraw its troops and evacuated Australia's embassy there, other world leaders met at the United Nations in New York to discuss what steps the world will now take against Russia on behalf of Ukraine. Smiles are about to come back into fashion in Queensland and Victoria, with announcements in both states yesterday that people would no longer have to wear masks. From March 4, the masks will come off in schools in Queensland. And assemblies and excursions will once again be allowed. In Victoria, primary school kids in years 3 to 6 will still be required to wear masks in the classroom though, as the government there is worried not enough kids in that age bracket have been vaccinated. Sorry guys.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in China, where, instead of being asked if they want fries with that, visitors to McDonald's are being asked if they want a coriander-flavoured sundae. Excuse me for a moment while I go and dry heave. Coriander, as some of you may know, is an especially pungent herb, used a lot in Mexican cuisine, also in Indian and Thai food. Pungent is a fancy word for stinky or strong. And while coriander has its fans, and it definitely has its place in cooking, a coriander sundae is what we might call an acquired taste, which is a fancy way of saying not very nice. I remember once visiting a Singapore McDonald's and trying a durian thick shake. Durian is widely recognised as the most vile-smelling fruit on the face of the planet. Let's just say I didn't finish the shake. Now, speaking of the big wide world and all its wonderful differences, don't forget that every Wednesday, Amanda fires up the Squiz Kids super-fast supersonic jetliner and explores a new and interesting country. The new segment is called Squiz the World, and this week we're off to Brazil. Did you know that kids in Brazil attend school for only 4 hours a day? Or that in the Amazon River there are piranhas and pink dolphins? Squiz the World is out every Wednesday, exclusively for teachers who have signed up to the Squiz Kids for Schools, or parents who have signed up via Apple Podcasts to our subscriber specials. Check out the links in today's episode notes to access your free trials today.
Sport time.
Throwing a three-pointer in basketball is about as good as it gets. It's when you get the ball in the basket from outside the three-point line, a line that sweeps in a large arc a fair distance away from the basket. So, when American basketballer Steph Curry shot 16 three-pointers in one single game this week, he entered the record books for the most three-pointers in an all-star game. And he scored for his team in the process an impressive 50 points. Also having a good week in the NBA was homegrown talent Josh Giddey. The kid from Melbourne, who recently joined the Oklahoma City Thunder, last week became the youngest ever player to record not 1, but 3 triple-doubles. What's a triple-double, I hear you ask? It's when, in a single game, you get double-digit stats in 3 separate skills, be it the number of points you've scored, assists you make, blocks, rebounds, or steals. Trust me, it's totally a thing.
News hounds.
Each Wednesday, we invite Squizzy, the news hound, into the studio to tell us what sort of fake news he's sniffed out on the internet this week. And today, he's found a real stinker. It's a fake news story that's been shared widely, including by many celebrities, warning people to be careful when making their bed. According to the story doing the rounds online, scientists have found that if you shake a doona too hard, you could have a heart attack. Now, Squizzy always tells us to stop, think, and check. And when I think about this, I wonder how on earth could shaking a doona make me have a heart attack, any more than going for a long walk or having a swim at the beach. It just doesn't make sense. So I checked, and a Google search for the headline turns up no such story. What it does find, however, are many reliable fact-checking websites, all confirming that the story is a fake. Ah, well, looks like I can't avoid making the bed after all. Thanks, Squizzy.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Which country yesterday sent its troops into Ukraine? That's right, it's Russia. Question number 2. What herb, with a very distinctive taste, has been used to flavour Macca's sundaes in China? You got it, it's coriander. Question number 3. Name the Aussie basketballer who's set a new NBA record for triple doubles. Yeah, it's Josh Giddey.
Shout-outs.
It's February 23. On this day, 566 years ago, a man called Johannes Gutenberg used his clever new invention, the printing press, to publish the world's first ever book. What book did he publish? It was the Bible. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Annie from Mansfield, Declan from Queanbeyan South, and Matthew from South Australia. And classroom shout-outs go to Class 5-6D and 5-6E with Ms Earl and Ms Duggan at De Broid Point Public School. Miss Norris and Class 3-4 Green at Bowen Public School in Orange, Class 4R and Mrs Rennie at Murray Farm Public School in Carlingford, and finally to Class 5-6V and Mrs Vidala at Abbotsford Public School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.